you vowed to do everything in your power to galvanise growth in the UK. But if you look at the sharp decline in business and consumer confidence since you were elected...
You're not hearing things wrong. Starmer just made a shocking admission on live TV. Has he finally woken up? Or was it just a moment of panic under the mounting pressure from public opinion? As the UK grapples with a slew of issues, Starmer, once a figure many voters had faith in, has left people stunned with his out-of-touch statements and an unbelievably lavish lifestyle. We'll dive into why more and more people are growing tired of this so-called leader. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts as you join in on this lively discussion. In recent years, Keir Starmer has become a controversial figure in British politics. Once seen as a beacon of hope for the Labour Party, Starmer is now facing harsh criticism regarding his self-presentation and his lavish lifestyle. Interestingly, before entering politics, Starmer was a renowned lawyer with a distinguished career in human rights advocacy. However, his political career seems to have made him forget the principles he once stood for. He is now criticised for accepting numerous luxurious gifts from donors, ranging from expensive glasses to tickets for football matches and Taylor Swift concerts. This not only highlights the stark contrast between Starmer's words and actions, but also stirs up anger among voters. The question arises, why does this matter? For many voters, the discrepancy between Starmer's words and actions cannot be overlooked. They see a man who once claimed he would fight for the rights of workers now living the life of a privileged nobleman. This discontent has surely diminished the trust that voters placed in him. In fact, Starmer once promised to work for the poor, yet his recent actions have completely contradicted that promise. Many polls show a significant percentage of voters believe he is becoming irresponsible and out of touch with reality. According to a recent YouGov survey, over 70% of the public believe that politicians live detached from the realities of their lives. One voter in Manchester shared, "I voted for Starmer because I believed he would understand the struggles I face, but now he is just a fabricated version of himself." Such feelings of disappointment come not only from ordinary citizens, but also from former politicians. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown recently stated that this separation between the lives of politicians and the lives of the people is unacceptable. The media has also not hesitated to criticise Starmer. Adam Brooks, a prominent journalist, did not hold back when he said, "Starmer's lavish lifestyle makes him a political joke. If he can't pay for small gifts himself, how can he lead a country?" Criticism from commentators like Michelle Dewberry adds further pressure on Starmer. She argues, "We are witnessing the gradual erosion of the dignity and responsibility of the leadership position. Starmer needs to understand that he is not just a politician, but also a role model for those who are struggling to survive every day." Can Starmer change public perception of himself and the Labour Party before it's too late? The facade he is presenting will not be easily forgotten, and if he does not take specific actions to show empathy and responsibility towards voters, he may face a challenging future in British politics. Do you think Starmer can find a new direction to regain voters' trust? Share your views in the comments below. Discussions about politics and leaders like Starmer are becoming more important than ever. The story does not end with Starmer's facade. Another notable event is the case of the murderer ZM, who killed a man right in an ambulance. This case not only shocked the public, but also raised significant questions about public safety and the government's responsibility to protect its citizens. The ZM case attracted attention not only because of its brutal nature, but also due to the controversial legal decisions surrounding the killer. ZM, a member of an organised gang, followed and attacked the victim while he was receiving emergency care in the ambulance. This act was not only a heinous crime, but also highlighted the rising level of violence in society. The public feels unsafe, especially knowing that even in emergency situations, they can still fall victim to violence. What is even more concerning is that although ZM has been sentenced to life imprisonment, the issue does not stop there. One of the reasons ZM will not be deported to Uganda after serving his sentence is the concern over humanitarian conditions in that country. According to the court's ruling, sending ZM back to Uganda would violate his human rights, as the country lacks adequate mental health facilities. This has sparked outrage in public opinion, as many cannot understand why the rights of a murderer are prioritised over public safety. The government's helplessness in handling similar cases has led to a wave of criticism directed not only at Starmer, but also at the entire justice system and government. Recent studies indicate that approximately 70% of the British public feel their personal safety is threatened by crime. A YouGov survey revealed that more than half of respondents believe the government is not doing enough to protect citizens from rising violence. These figures cannot be ignored and present a troubling picture of the security situation in the UK. Moreover, stories like ZM's case are not rare. Recently, another bloody attack occurred in a bar in London where 2 men were stabbed in a gang fight. This once again underscores the rise of violence and organised crime in society. A sense of fear looms, as people cannot go out without feeling apprehensive. Therefore, many have begun to question Starmer's leadership abilities, as well as those of other politicians. Are they capable enough to address issues like public safety while being embroiled in scandals related to ethics and personal responsibility? From this, a clear picture of the gap between what politicians say and what the public feels is becoming increasingly apparent. The anger and disappointment among voters are rising. They want not only a leader capable of addressing economic issues, but also one who can ensure the safety of every individual in society. Starmer's empty commitments and contradictory actions are causing him to lose credibility and support from the public. In the end, the question arises: is there anyone in the current government capable of genuinely restoring trust and safety for the people? The reality is that the public needs a leader who knows how to speak, but also one who can truly take action to protect their basic rights. The story of Starmer and ZM is just the tip of an iceberg of a larger crisis unfolding in society. The public is increasingly frustrated with the government as politicians seem to focus solely on personal interests while the reality of people's lives becomes increasingly difficult. According to a report from the Office for National Statistics, ONS, violent crime has increased by 15% over the past year, with one of the main causes being the rise in gang activity. These gang struggles not only instill fear in the community, but also result in the deaths of many innocent people. Recently, a survey revealed that about 30% of the public does not feel safe going out at night, indicating a significant shift in societal mindset. In addition to violence, social inequality is becoming a major concern. A study by the Resolution Foundation indicates that approximately 14 million people, or 22% of the UK population, are living below the poverty line. This not only reflects economic hardship, but also creates significant divides between social classes. While a small minority lives in luxury, the majority of people struggle to get by day to day. This disparity not only breeds outrage, but also fosters an atmosphere of division within society. The education system is not exempt from this crisis. Many schools are facing severe funding shortages, leading to curriculum cuts and teacher layoffs. A report from the National Education Union, NEU, indicates that 40% of teachers feel they lack the resources to provide students with a quality education. This not only affects the younger generation, but also has long-term consequences for the country's future. Additionally, the mental health crisis is a significant issue that the government must address. A study by Mind shows that the number of young people seeking psychological support has doubled over the past 5 years. Loneliness, anxiety, and depression are becoming common issues, especially in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. This highlights the shortcomings in mental health care services, as many people are unable to access the necessary support. The social crisis not only causes public dissatisfaction, but also leads to protests and movements of resistance. Recently, we have seen thousands of people take to the streets to oppose government policies. These protests reflect not only discontent with the current government, but also the voices of the people wanting to change the state of society. According to sociologists, this crisis is exacerbating instability within society. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a sociologist at the University of London, states, "We are witnessing a clear shift in society where ordinary people feel they no longer have a voice. They feel abandoned by those in power, and this could lead to more severe consequences in the future. These issues are not merely temporary challenges, but signs of a society in profound crisis. The question arises, are the leaders, including Keir Starmer, capable of providing effective solutions to restore trust and improve the lives of everyone? The waiting and disappointment of the public are growing, and without specific actions, this may lead to an even greater crisis in the future. The crisis of trust that we are witnessing is not only related to Keir Starmer, but also reflects a heartbreaking reality in British politics. When those who represent us live in luxury and fail to demonstrate responsibility towards their constituents, how can we place our trust in them? It is time for us to demand transparency and accountability from our leaders. Remember, we hold the power in our hands. Do not let silence turn into complicity. We need our voices in politics, and do not forget that each of your votes matters. Thank you for following along, and I hope that together we can build a better future for everyone.